Hey guys, Joshua Peterson, Peterson Electric here today. I showed you a video about 2 weeks ago on a home that was flickering with power. We did discover it was the neutral right here. This is a meter pedestal and it's a double-sided. One is the neighbor, one is hers. And we ran a separate wire, like I told you, a number 10 on the ground to go to the panel, and we discovered that it was actually the neutral that went bad. So we pulled in some 1/0 to 125 amp breaker, and then dug this trench. This was a little tricky with the slant that we had going. It doesn't look like much on camera, but it was. We had a ton of rocks in here. We did have to get our chainsaw and cut all that debris yesterday so we could get this flowing. We do have some sprinkler heads that we've got a friend that we're going to refer to get that. There's one spot that we hit a boulder. That's as much as the trencher could get. We dug this out 5 different ways in order to chip out the other parts and get it down to 24 inches. And then some spots we were able to get it at 32 inches. And we like to dig those a little deeper in some spots. So this corner we dig out by hand and push that back. And you have to have a very soft bed. So when you throw down your sand or your dirt, you don't want any big chunks of rocks. That right there is all the boulders that came out of it. So anyways, we came out here, mounted a disconnect outside. 125 amps will feed this in. This then fed 100 amps in. Drove a ground rod over here, a ground rod right here. Came over here, brought in our inner system bonding, and then downstairs to the gas and the cold water. That's all bonded with one number 6 bare copper. And then in here, this is the unfortunate thing. In here, we actually had to cut this wall out. This was in a closet. In the city of Centennial, we called them ahead of time. They were not going to allow this. So whoever did this, sunroom did not pull a permit. And we checked with the city. Nothing was logged in the last 10 years with the sunroom. So we cut this closet out. We had to cut this out here and then down to here, and ran a number 2 XHHW for the aluminum. This now is my sub panel, and out there is now my main disconnect. So anyways, we're feeding it into here, came down below, protected it. She'll have all this mudded and this trimmed out very nice. They'll have to figure out what to do on the tile. I think she said she wanted to uproot the tile anyways. And then unfortunately this will stay exposed unless they decide to build a wall, but you can tell all this was outside. This feeder conduit, this telephone box, and even the panel. And then they changed the panel to an indoor rated instead of an outdoor rated. But yeah, this is what you don't do with your utilities, because if something goes wrong, you have to trench it. Imagine any of that having cement or pavers or gigantic boulders that you would have to have an excavator move that. So we do some trenching like that. This was pretty tough. This took us a full day just to get that trencher down there, and a lot of it was done by hand in certain little spots. And that was really hard clay and rock down there. But so anyways, this is kind of the whole job. I told you about the lights flickering. How we knew that, again, real quick, is I'll hit this disposal. You can see that light. Excuse me, her lights are here. And this has gotten worse over 2 weeks. It is the neutral underground. It doesn't matter if I hit that circuit or I come over and hit this circuit. You'll still see a flicker going on. So whether we were doing a vacuum cleaner or hair dryer disposal, and that's just because the neutral's failing underground. I do think somehow they may have nicked it when they dug this. Basically, yeah, that's why we had to retrench it. But we did see the feeder came this way. We did have our locates done. Please leave about 5 days to get a locate done, working days, because you know we called and called and called, and since last Wednesday, and the locates took forever. We had to get gas figured out, sewer, water, your private side for the power, because they didn't call that their responsibility for the electrical company. They have primary side of the transformer, as well as your CenturyLink and your Comcast. So 7 different locates, and then you got your sprinklers, of course. Anyways, thanks for joining us, guys.